Write the meaning of management. Management is an art of getting things done through others efficiently and effectively. All these things will actually come here. Management. Right? Now, management is all about what? Getting things done. How many people you are supposed to control and how many people will be taking orders from you. That is all the span of control is all about. Now, understand this word. Hertzberg theory is also called as the hygiene theory. It is also called as. The second is what is planning? Explain the feature and importance of planning. This is Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Vidhyaashram from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students. Now we are going for solving the model question paper. Now what exactly the model question paper is all about? Now Mysore University has given us all the opportunity to learn something more. So here is what Vidhyaashram is bringing only for you people for free. The reason is we want all the students to actually get centum in the POM subject, that is the Principles of Management subject. So your Abhilasha will always be there to help you to get that 100 on 100, 80 on 80 in your examination respectively. So we'll go with the first one, that is the agenda of it, that is part A, B, C, D. I have divided it. That is the first one is introduction. The second one is a very interesting topic that is called concept mapping. I'll tell you how to prepare yourself in the examination and how exactly you are supposed to write in the examination. Now part C is model paper and part D we have is the important question. Students, the part D, stay tuned till the end because part D I'm gonna give you the questions which gonna come in the 2021 examination. That is like the most important questions which your people need to just glance, and those questions definitely you will get in your examination of Principles of Management 2021. So stay tuned and till the end you are supposed to watch and analyze what exactly the questions you may get. So the first one here is the introduction part. When we go with the introduction, I always tell my students that you should know what are your chapters, what exactly is the subject, and in that subject how many chapters are there. Now for Principles of Management you have 6 chapters, namely the first one is all about the introduction to management, where you will be actually going for the management principles, the management thoughts. All these things will actually come here. Management. Right? Now management is all about what? Getting things done through others efficiently and effectively, and after that you will go for next one is called planning and decision making. Now see, planning and decision making are very easy chapters if you just compare with all the chapters, because if you were a PU student which you have taken a commerce in your PU, now what happens is this chapter becomes very easy for you. Now followed by that, see here it's again planning, organizing, staffing, directing, communication, controlling. All are the functions of management which you are supposed to understand and then write it. Now when you go with planning here, what happens? You will get a planning process or decision process. Then go with the organizing and staffing. Staffing, the minute you get this is all about selection process which you are supposed to write. Then we have directing and communication, motivation and leadership, and the last one is controlling. So totally how many chapters are there? 6 chapters we have. Say majorly it is all about the functions of management. That is what we are supposed to go through. Here we have motivation, leadership, communication, decision making, which you people did not had in your second PU. Though you had communication, but only little you had communication. Here you will actually go with little more of communication, say overcoming the barrier of communication. What are the barriers of communication, what are the types of communication, you will actually get to know here. So going to the next one is the introduction part A. In the same way we have given the pattern here. Now understand the pattern, what pattern you people will get in your examination. So the Mysore University is such a standard university which goes with 3 of the part, that is part A, B and C. It wants the students to know that what exactly comes in each part. Now, the first part here, students, it is like you will be getting 4 questions. In that 4 questions, you are supposed to write only 2 questions and each question carries 15 marks. Totally you get 30 here. Now part B is that here what happens is you will be getting say 5 questions and you are supposed to write only 3, and each question carries 10 marks, so it is 30. And the part C, you will be getting 6 questions, so it is like 4, 5, 6. In that 6 questions, you are supposed to attempt only 4 questions. How many questions? 4 questions. Each carries 5 marks. Total it is how much? 20 marks. So if you just calculate each and everything, you get 80 marks. See, this 80 marks is what we are concentrating on. That is, I want the students, whoever goes with this, that is 80 on 80. This is what our promise is for you people. So how to get this 80 on 80? That is what we are supposed to discuss in this class, that is called the concept mapping. Understand the concept mapping here. When we go with this, we have 6 chapters. Now in that 6 chapters, understand, we have something called the part A, the B and the C. When you go with part A, part B and part C, understand the combination here. Now part A is all about what? 15 marks, and you are supposed to rate only 2, and that is how you get 30. And part B is 10 into 3 is equal to 30, and part C is 5 into 4 is equal to say 20. At total it is how much? 80. Now internals, I can't do anything because it is all your faculties who have given it for you people. So you know how your faculties have given, and try to understand that. And let's go with that 80 marks, right? Now to pass in any of the first year, second year, third year examination in Mysore University, you are supposed to have 40 marks out of 100. But again, there is a star mark, that is a condition applied. In theory papers or the practical papers, you are supposed to get out of 80, 24 marks or 25 marks you are supposed to get. If you add your internals, you should get 40. That is how it is. There is no minimum or the maximum for say internals. Maximum is 20, but minimum, even your faculty have given 0, no issues. You are supposed to just take 40 from the external, your pass. But our main intention is not to get 40, 50 or 60. Our only intention is what? That you should actually get 80 marks, that is 80 on 80. That is how you are supposed to go with. And we are there to prepare you people for this examination of Principles of Management 2021. Say it's like free kind of a coaching which we will be giving. That is Vidhyaashram gonna give you a free coaching of getting centum in Principles of Management. So here when you go with the concept mapping, what exactly the concept mapping is? Sir, today it's like very new, only like 2 to 3 days we have for Principles of Management. I have not studied anything what exactly to be done. So that's why stay till the last, because you will be getting the important questions. Read those questions and I'll tell you, you will get 80 on 80. So I always tell my students that you are supposed to go for a smart way of learning. What is that smart way of learning? Sir, I have studied all the 6 chapters. High five, or it is like a thumbs up for you people. That is, you have done really good. Sir, right now I'm not a person like who can read each and everything. I just need only few points so that I can at least pass, because the pandemic was there. It was a very tough time for me and my family. I need to now pass, and I need to get more than 70 marks in my examination. How to do it? See, example, here how many questions you are supposed to write? Only 2. Here it is 3. Here it is 4. Stick with 3 chapters. How many chapters? 3 chapters, and I'll tell you, you can get more than 70, say 75 marks from this chapter. That is only 3 chapters and you will get 75 marks. How? Sir, you have studied 3 chapters. So here there are 4 chapters. But I will tell you which are the 3 chapters so that you can get 2 15 marks question from that. So here this is done, because you studied 3 and you are supposed to write only 2. Now coming to this fact, right, you will be getting how many questions? 5 questions from this chapter, right? In the sense that this sections you will get 5 questions. Now what happens is you have studied 3. This is also done. Now coming to this one, now you will actually get 6 questions, but you have prepared only for 3. So what happens is 5 into 3 is 15. Now you got here 15. Now understand, here 30 is 60 plus 15 is 75. That means if you study only 3 chapters, trust me, you can be able to write 75 marks answers. So that for 5 marks, do you need to study more 3 chapters? That is a question actually. See, this is what the smart way of learning in the nth minute. But I never encourage any student to actually go with only to learn 3 chapters or 4 chapters. I want each and everybody to study all the chapters, because the beauty of University of Mysore is they have given all the chapters very standard, and they have given it so that you people can easily understand, and then you can actually read it, write it, and then understand from that and get benefit out of those subjects. Coming to the next one is, I'll be giving you a few of the model kind of a question paper, how the question paper will look like. Now the first one is a 15 marks question. Now I have given you like 4 questions. Please take down all the questions, because very important these questions are. Say, define management, explain Henry Fayol's contribution to management thoughts. It's a 15 marks question from the first chapter. Now understand how the questions are framed, because you people have come just from second PU to degree. You don't know how the questions will come. So I'm just making an attempt to give you all the things, that is how the question paper will look like. The second is, what is planning? Explain the feature and importance of planning. This is a planning chapter which you are supposed to actually go with. That is a second question, is all from the second chapter. Now define communication. Describe the different forms of communication and types of communication when you go with it. It is not the third chapter, it is the fourth chapter called communication and staffing. Next, who is a leader? Explain the characteristics and functions of leader. This comes from the motivation and leadership chapter, that is chapter number 5. Now understand, you got first chapter, second chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter. Now where are the third chapter and the sixth chapter? Will you get the questions or not? You may get the question, you may not get the question, but understand here what exactly examination is all about. Now exam is something which is like this. You know the answer, right? You know the topic, but in the examination what really happens is, what you don't know will definitely come. What you know will never come. So this is what the beauty of examination is. So this is what the 15 marks is actually looks like. That is, define what, define who, all these things are the sub points. Then the real question is what? Explain Henry Fayol, explain the features, describe the difference, explain the characteristics. So these are the questions which you are supposed to aim at. Now I'll tell you how to actually answer these 15 marks questions, students. Many of you, the minute you get a question, right, what happens is you start writing all those things. But I'll tell you, there is something called presentation. There is something called, you are supposed to know how to write the answers. The first one, I'll tell you the 15 marks question. First, you write the meaning. Okay, you write the meaning of what exactly is given. Say example, there is a question called as explain the functions of management. That's it, nothing else. They have not asked you what is management. They have not asked define management. They have said explain the characteristics of management. Don't just write the characteristics of management. First you understand. Write the meaning of management. Management is an art of getting things done through others efficiently and effectively. Now when you write that, I'll tell you, now what happens, the person who is correcting your paper, right, he'll feel that, okay, this person knows how the answers to be written. Next is you go for one more, that is called definition, right? Definition you go for. Now the definition, now there are few people, the pioneers of management thoughts, right? You have Henry Fayol, F.W. Taylor, Peter F. Drucker, you have Kuhns and O'Donnell, you have so many other people, right? Now Philip Kotler. So all these people, which I have done in all the sessions, you can write one of the definition of management. After that, you can actually go for characteristics. Characteristics of management. Now, when you go for the characteristics of management, I'll tell you how to present the answers also, right? How exactly you are supposed to present this? Very simple, I'll tell you. When you go with the characteristics, I'll tell you the next page you go with this. Say, here you have written the characteristics of management. Now go with these things, right? Now, the first character, write the flow chart, the second character, then the third character, then the fourth character. Like that, you go with all the 10 characteristics in one page. You jot it down, write down properly, neatly. Use your pen, your pencil, your scale. You use it here because these are the things which will actually count. Because I'll tell you here, you should know how to write, Plus, you should actually understand that when you are writing it, it should not be like you are overwriting anything. You are actually twisting and turning and writing. You should write properly, precisely. And if you have any doubt regarding how to write it, please watch the session. I have given you the complete detail about the characteristics, the functions, each and everything. You are supposed to go with the same one. If you feel so that you can't write or something, please come to the Google classroom. You are supposed to come log in. We will give you the IDs. You are supposed to just go with the formalities, and you can get all the notes from the Vidhyaashram college. Now, when you go with this, what happens is, later in the next page, you start explaining each and every point. Now, many of my students, they ask me a question, right? Sir, how can we write each and everything like this? We have only 3 hours as a time. Now, understand the time strategy here, which I'll be teaching you. Now, nobody will actually teach you this, but I'll teach you here how exactly you're supposed to go with. Now, we have this part A, isn't it? Now, A is of how many marks? 15 marks. That means 15 plus 15 is equal to 30. Now, what I always tell my students is, this first 15 marks, what you are supposed to do is spend at least 30 minutes for this. How much? 30 minutes. This 15 marks, spend 30 minutes for it. That means what happens here is, say you are spending 1 hour for part A, that is the entire 1 hour. You are spending for only to write part A. I'm telling you, that's really good. When you go with part B, what happens is, you are supposed to write only 3 questions. That means each question you can actually spend 20 minutes. When you go with part B, you are supposed to spend how many? 20 minutes. Now, 20 minutes into 3, say you are spending 60 minutes, that is 1 hour. Again, part B also how much? That is 1 hour. Okay, done. Now, there is something called part C. The part C is all about 5 marks, and you are supposed to write 4 questions. So, exactly when you go with this, what happens is, spend 10 minutes for each question. So, what exactly happens is, you are supposed to go with 10 into 4 is equal to 40. That is 40 minutes you're going to actually spend. Now, understand here, the C, you are actually going and you are spending how many? 40 minutes. So, totally what happened if you calculate 1 hour plus 1 hour is 2 hours, 2 hours plus 40 minutes is 2 hours, 40 minutes. Still you got 20 minutes. That is a buffer time. That is a buffer time. Now, understand. Never leave the hall before 3 hours. That means the entire 3 hours you are supposed to sit and write. You're not able to remember the points, no issues, but still you are supposed to sit. Don't go or don't leave the examination because your friend have finished and they are going. I'm telling you, students, your parents have paid the fees. You are the person who is actually writing only because your parents have done that. That means how difficult it is to actually earn and then actually give it to the colleges. But what you people do is, only because some of your friends have finished, you will finish within half an hour, 1 hour or 2 hours. Don't do that. The entire 3 hours is only for you people to actually write more in the examination so that you can get more. The concept is very simple. The more you write, the more you get. The more you are supposed to go with quality also. It is not just writing something. I'm telling you, don't write something. You should understand the thing. You should get prepared for the examination, then go for the examination. That is how you are supposed to go for it. Now, I told you about the logic. These all are the concept mapping which you are supposed to know. So we have part B right now, students. Now in the part B, I have given you 5 questions. In that 5 questions, you are supposed to write only 3 questions. So what exactly it is? Read each and everything, whatever I have given, all the 5 questions. You understand the 5 questions. Any doubt you have, Vidhyaashram is the college, is open for all the students. You can just come and you can register your name, and we are here to teach you what exactly each and every questions with the answers also. Now here, briefly explain the factors determining the span of control. Now when you go with the span of control, what happens is, it's a chapter called in organizing. You get this word called span of control. How many people you are supposed to control and how many people will be taking orders from you. That is all the span of control is all about. When you go with the next one, steps involved in decision making. See, understand again, in the planning chapter, you have two things. One is planning, another is decision. When you get planning for 15, you get decisions for 10 and vice versa. If you get decisions for 15, you get planning for 10. That is how you are supposed to understand. Explain the Maslow theory of motivation. See, understand, Maslow is a very famous person and he has given half of his life. Say example, if I need to tell you, like half of his life he has given it only for the motivation experiments, and he has given a beautiful concept that is called the Maslow's hierarchical theory. And I'll tell you how to write the answers also. The same way what you are supposed to write for 15 marks, you are supposed to spend here with 20 minutes you are supposed to spend to write one answer. This is how you are supposed to play the strategy of the examination. Then you have barriers of communication. See, the barriers of communication is very easy. Communication means what? You are supposed to first write meaning. Then you are supposed to go with the definition of communication, and then you are supposed to write the barriers of communication. Lastly, you have explained the steps in control process or controlling process you are supposed to write. I'll tell you how to go with the part B. Now, I told you that part B consists of 5 questions, and in that 5 questions, we are supposed to write only 3. I'll be telling you which are the 3 chapters which you are supposed to study so that you will get 75 marks out of 80. Now, understand, 3 questions. How exactly you can actually go with it? You can go with the first chapter, that is the introduction part of the management, or you can go with the planning, or you can go with the leadership and motivation. When you go with these 3 questions, I'll tell you what here, the 3 chapters will also go with smart way of learning. That is how I really want you people to go with, because exams are like only 2 to 3 days we have, and we are supposed to get 75 marks. That is our target out of 80. But if you understand us, if you follow us every day, 80 on 80, you will get like a cakewalk. Now understand this. The first one, you will be writing meaning. After that, what exactly you do? You'll be writing definition. Then you will go with what exactly the question is asking. Say example, you have Maslow's motivation. Right? Maslow's motivation. What exactly you do is, half of the page you write the triangle. Right? Half of the page you just write it. Now here what happens is, go with this. The first one here you have, say, physiological needs. Then you have, say, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and then self-actualization. So whatever the Maslow is telling you about physiological. Then you have something called safety needs, then social needs, then esteem needs, and this one is the self-actualization. If you write it, done. Now what you are supposed to do is, half of the page you have written this. You have written the meaning of motivation, definition of motivation, introduction of Maslow. Who is Maslow? It is called A.H. Maslow is what his name is. Abraham Harold Maslow is what his name is. Then you'll go with the pyramid, where you will be writing the physiological, safety, social, esteem, self-actualization. Then what exactly you are supposed to do is very simple. Here it is. Each and every point you are supposed to mention at least 5 sentences, give examples. Now I'll tell you, nobody can cut even a single marks from you. That is how you are supposed to write. Now coming to the 5 marks question, now I have given you, say, 6 questions here, but only 4 questions I have written for you. 2 more questions I'll be writing for you people. That is the question number 5 and the question number 6. Why? Because predicting the 5 marks question is very, very difficult. What is it? Predicting the 5 mark question is very, very difficult. Say they can actually give you from anywhere. Say there is a topic called, you have something called controlling. Now in controlling, there is a topic which you will be actually getting, that is, you are supposed to write the techniques of controlling. One of the technique of controlling they can give you. Say there are MBO, that is management by objective. Then MIS, management information system. MBE, management by exceptions. Now like that you have so many other things they can give you. TQM, total quality management, they can actually give it to you. JIT, just in time, they can actually give it to you. So these are the questions which you are supposed to understand. Say write a note on, and they'll tell you delegation. Write a note on decentralization. Now these are the questions which we cannot predict, but I'm telling you, if you get these questions, how you are supposed to write. Say example, MBE or management skills or delegation of authority or centralization versus decentralization. The minute they go with it, it is only for 5 marks. How many marks? 5 marks. But don't think it is only 5 marks, it is 20 marks because you are supposed to write 4 questions. Now, when you go with these 4 questions, 10 minutes for each questions. If you go for it, what you are supposed to do is simple. MBE, write what is the expansion of MBE, then write 5 points about MBE. What you can write, say importance of MBE, objective of MBE, purpose of MBE, need of MBE, why MBE is needed. If you write 5 points, right, you get 5 marks. It's such simple question, a such simple answer. And how is that you are writing? You are writing 5 different answers for that. That is when you go with it. See, I've seen many students repeating the answers, beating the bush. Don't do this. You are supposed to prepare for examination and then go for the examination. So very easy topic it is, you can write it. Now, coming to the last part, that is the part D. This is the chapter. These are the questions which I really want to discuss with you people. The concept is very simple in this model paper discussion. That is, there are 6 chapters, students. Take any 3 chapters. When you take any 3 chapters, you are supposed to study those 3 chapters entirely. The questions whichever I'll give you, you are supposed to study entirely. Now you can't skip any questions. Say you have taken 3 chapters of your choice. Now I have given 4 questions in one chapter. Now you can't study 3 questions and leaving 1 question. What happens is, I told you about examination. Examination means something what you know will never come, and what you don't know will be the first question. So probably 3 questions you have read, but not the 1 question which I gave it to you. But that 1 question will come in the examination. So what is that you should do is, if you are choosing 3 chapters, you need to choose, in the sense you need to take all the questions from the chapter. Say the first chapter is all about introduction to management. Now in introduction to management, you will get a question for 15 marks, 10 marks as well as a 5 marks. So 30 marks is what the weightage for this chapter is. Now understand, the first question, explain the contribution of Henry Fayol, or it can be F.W. Taylor. Henry Fayol or F.W. Taylor. You are supposed to get prepared for both the questions. That is, they can give you for Henry Fayol or F.W. Taylor. If they give Henry Fayol, F.W. Taylor can come for 10 and vice versa. Next question is, explain functions of management. See, functions of management, we all know. You are supposed to draw this. Say right here, planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. Now we have also coordination, communication, where you people can write it. It is integral part of functions of management. Next is explain the nature and process of management. So nature, you all know about management, what exactly it is. I have explained nature and the process of management in our session. You just need to go click the Vidhyaashram channel and you can access to the principles of management first semester hashtag. If you just go with it, AC Sir is what my name is, Abhilash Chandra, and you can get all the sessions properly and you can watch it. So this are the 3 questions which is very, very important from this chapter which you will be getting. So what would be the 5 marks question here? Now the 5 marks question I told you here, students, that is very, very difficult to actually predict. But if you read all these 3 questions, 5 marks question is a cakewalk for you. You can write it. Next is we have planning and decision making. In this planning and decision making, I have given, say, 4 questions I have given. Go for all the 4 questions. It's a straightforward question which you will be getting it. That is, the first one is explain features and importance of planning for 15 marks. What is planning? Explain planning process. It can come for 10 marks. Now again you have a combination. If not these 2 questions, you get these 2 questions. What is decision making? Explain the process of decision making for 15. Or you get a question that is write a note on. Now whenever you go with write a note on, it's all for 5 marks. That is individual versus group decision making. It's a write a note on. But I have done a very good session on decision making and individual decision making, where you can actually take advantage of it. Just hear to the session, just watch the session, how exactly it is. I've given all simple examples and simple points where you can remember it, you can understand it. If you want notes, you just need to come subscribe the Vidhyaashram and join the Google class, and you will actually get all the notes, PDF, the model paper, the solved model paper, each and everything you will get in your Google class, and that is all free for students whoever are in Vidhyaashram. And if other students they really want it, again I am there for you people. We are open to all the students also. You can come, you can use our access. Next is the chapter 3 where organizing and staffing will come. Now understand, organizing is that, staffing is also there. So the question can be like, explain the advantages and barriers of delegation. That means you have advantages of delegation as well as barriers of delegation. Next question is, explain the importance and process of staffing. Staffing is a very interesting chapter. You can actually take so much out of staffing, that is like you will get the knowledge about how staffing happens, because after you finish your degree, when you go for any interview, staffing is a really nice chapter where you can understand so many things. Next is, explain the factors affecting staffing. You will get a question called process of staffing or factors affecting staffing. Then you have one more question, that is span of control. I told you span of control is for 10 marks. So you'll be getting a question called write a note on span of control for 5 marks or 10 marks. And the last one is distinguishing between formal and informal organization. See, understand, there are 2 organizing questions, there are 2 staffing questions, there is 1 organizing question for 5 marks. Now what happens here is, it's always like organizing, if it comes for 15, staffing is for 10. If staffing is for 15, organizing is for 10. That is how you people need to prepare yourself. Next is the 4th chapter called directing and communication. Now, when you go with directing and communication, see, explain the nature and importance of directing. Explain the essentials of effective supervision. Now, till here, supervision and directing is all the directing chapter. When you come here, define communication, explain the objectives and importance of communication, explain types of communication. These 2 are of communication. That means any one will come for 15, the other will come for 10. So the entire question paper is actually given to you people. That is, this is how the question paper pattern will look like. You just need to go with 4 questions. You will get your 20 marks or 25 marks. Next one we have is the part, that is a 5th chapter, motivation and leadership. In motivation leadership, if I was a student, I will definitely opt for motivation and leadership, because it's a straight questions and no twist, no turn. Now when I go with this question, understand this. Explain the types of leadership, or you can get the leadership traits. Now leadership traits is a very simple and easy questions to attain, but if you get this, I'll tell you, don't restrict yourself only for 10 points. Go on for 15 points. If it is for 10 marks or 15 marks, you can easily write all the 15 points. Next is Maslow theory is that you have McGregor's theory, X and Y, Z, and then you have explain Hertzberg theory. Now understand this word. Hertzberg theory is also called as the hygiene theory. It is also called as 2-factor theory. Now supposingly you have studied all the 4. You don't know what is hygiene theory and 2-factor theory. You have studied only Hertzberg theory. In that question paper, you got something called explain to motivation of 2-factor theory, or explain 2-factor theory. Now you are in a confusion. Let me tell you, Hertzberg theory is famously known as the 2-factor theory, as well as it is also called as hygiene theory. You are supposed to stick to those, because 4 questions to 5 questions, if I am ready with, I'll tell you, I can get 30 marks in motivation chapter. This is how you people can actually go with. Now the last chapter is called controlling. Now controlling is a chapter where you are supposed to analyze with the answers and then go for it. Now the first one is explain the techniques of controlling. This is a sure question for 15 marks. Students, understand techniques of control. It's a sure question, I'm telling you here. What is controlling? Explaining control. That is, explain controlling process. Then you have something called write a note on management audit. It's a 5 marks question which you may get it. Distinguish between internal and external auditing. Now I have done a last session about this. You can actually get it for 10 marks. I have given 13 to 14 points I have given to you people. You can take the notes as well. You can actually take the recording session. You can take a screenshot of the recording session as well and then write this internal and external auditing. So these are the questions which we are looking for. These are the very important questions. What exactly you are supposed to do is go with a smart way of learning. So all 6 chapters, I'll be very comfortable. I'll do it. Yes, thumbs up for you. You can go for it. No sir, like 2 to 3 days we have the examination. I can't go with all the 6 chapters. I'll only go with few of the chapters. I'll not go with a few of the chapters. I'll only go with 3 or 2 or 1, whatever it is. These are the important questions. Stick on with at least 3 chapters. Take the chapters I have given you part by part, chapter wise. Go with all the questions chapter wise. Don't leave even a single question from single chapter, because I told you about it. Examination is something which you know will never come. Which you don't know will be the first question. So here is what we are supposed to here is what we have actually gone with all the questions whichever we felt it is so important for the principles of management students. Now if you have any doubts regarding this, please do call and leave a comment. Thank you so much students. I'll see you when I see you.